Hello, and welcome to Punk Rock Libertarians Podcast, episode 553. Tonight I am here with Alex Schlegel, the Noticing Caucus chairman.
Good to see you guys. Definitely noticing.
James Babb, the enemy within.
So good to be here.
And Kyle joins us again, the token minarchist.
Hey everybody, happy to be filling in tonight.
Yeah, man. Glad.
And I am Jared, the Jewish Lightning. So what's going on, guys? What's grinding your gears today?
Mayhem.
Where do we start?
Oh man, where to kick off? I mean, you guys got.
Let's start with something positive. Gold over 4,200, 4,300. Where are we at, Kyle?
Wow.
I think did it hit 43 today? I think
gold is at 43.88 right now.
Whoa.
Dude, every day it's been going up like 100. And it's actually doing what I thought it was going to do. How many years ago was that now?
20 years ago?
Yeah, like 14 years ago. I think 2011, 2012, I thought we were going to see the big moves. I've always thought of gold as and silver too, as like a train that's going to leave the station. And, if you don't have some, you're going to be left behind. But, it turned out that train was Bitcoin, right? I've been left behind on Bitcoin. I wish I would have put just a fraction of the money that I invested in gold and silver into Bitcoin in 2011. And maybe we would still be talking right now. I probably wouldn't have a job. I'd probably be retired.
You wouldn't be associating with us little people.
Yeah, peon.
The thing of it is, though, I don't know. I wouldn't have held on to Bitcoin long enough. Like, I would have been like, when it hits.
See, that's the thing that no one considers. They're like, oh yeah, if I had only bought Bitcoin in 2010, I'd be a multi-millionaire. But that's only if you held through like 80% drawdowns and you didn't panic sell all your shit, which
you didn't have any tragic boating events.
Right.
Exactly. You didn't lose your keys or
you didn't leave it on a hard drive that got tossed in a landfill.
That guy gave up the search. Did you hear that? He had like 80 million or something on a hard drive.
He was trying to buy the landfill, last I heard.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
well, I guess
someone probably already fished it out and just didn't say anything. Did he even have like the public address so he knows if it moves or not?
See, here's the thing though. Eventually quantum computing will roll in. The protocol will be upgraded, right? We'll all get new addresses that are quantum resistant. But these dormant accounts where people lost their keys, Satoshi's coins, that guy in the landfill, these things will eventually, theoretically, could be crackable, right? Because they don't get to upgrade. So these
depends on how they do it. I mean, if they just force all the, I mean, they might not have to change the wallet itself. It might just be the encryption layer on Bitcoin. But
I don't think you can't do that without the users themselves upgrading. So maybe, at least as far as I know, I don't know if there's any technical way to do that. But what we risk happening is all of these coins coming on the market suddenly, and boom, right? It could be very disruptive. Even if our own stacks are protected with the new algorithm, with a new encryption.
Well, I think we're pretty far away from that.
What's silver up to?
53.
53 an ounce.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
I got so excited about the gold rise, and I have like a 1 ounce coin, and I got it to show my mother-in-law. It's like, here, this is what an ounce feels like, and I didn't tell her how much it was. So she just, you kind of feel the weight of it, and it feels very solid. Like if you've never held 1 ounce of gold, it's you're not expecting it to feel as heavy as it does. But yeah, she was like, "Oh, that's cool. That's really neat." And then I was like, "That's a $4,000 coin, give or take." And she was like, "Oh my God!" Like her jaw hit the floor. She had no idea that gold was so high. And then I'm looking at it myself, wondering. I'm like, God, who would pay $4,000 for this hunk of metal? It's just very bizarre. But here you have Bitcoin where you can't even hold anything, and it's like people are paying as much as for a small house, 110,000 or 125,000 for this digital coin where there's nothing. So it's really incredible. It really is.
I think at like a kilo of gold is, I don't know if the price is similar to 1 Bitcoin right now, but they're probably in the same ballpark. Like imagine like having a Bitcoin or a kilo of gold. Which would you rather have?
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, right, that you can have the same dollar amount of both, and then it's just making a decision. Which one do you think is going to go up more in the future? I mean, for me, I'm a gold bug, so I would take the gold, but
I got to have both. I mean, we were talking about gold last week, weren't we? We were like, it's like Bitcoin, but analog. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, yeah, they even mine it, but instead of mining it with like an ant miner and using a lot of electricity, they actually like dig holes in the ground. It's like proof of digging.
They use good old gasoline.
It's a proof of digging algorithm.
Right.
Yeah, I'm always skeptical, like what's really driving the demand, and they've talked about central bank buying being a major driver, and you have to wonder, even though the general public doesn't know anything about money and they don't understand fractional reserve banking, they've never thought about the dollar itself, they've never thought about money at all. Central bankers know that they're just basically creating this stuff out of thin air, and that.
But I mean, who's buying up this gold is the question, right? Like, do you know anybody like outside of the libertarian community that's buying gold right now?
Yes. I've heard that like Costco selling gold sells out. Like they have like Costco, you can get like ounces or coins through Costco. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, they have a deal.
That sells
it's very
like
close to spot. It's very close to spot price.
But it also is, you hear all this talk of like sovereigns, getting governments buying it up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like the majority is the people that do know, which are the governments, which are the ones that are manipulating the currency. Those are the people, or like the Saudi oil princes, or like those kind of folks that are just like.
Remember when we suspected they were trying to bring gold back to get into Fort Knox for the audit, and then they're like, you know what? Turns out, just fuck them.
Yeah,
they didn't even bother with the audit.
No, that one guy, Trump's guy, said he went in and was like, "Oh, it's all good." I think it was like Trump's like former Treasury Secretary or something like that.
Oh, as long as some guy saw it and said it's great.
I know, right? Well, awesome. I mean, Ron Paul always used to say, he's like, you need to do a full audit, because even if the physical gold is there, it could have been assigned to somebody and we no longer own it. We wouldn't know what the current ownership status is just by seeing the physical metal. The rights could have been sold out from under us. So, the United States supposedly has like 8,000 tons or something, which is like way more than any other country. We have so much gold.
The strange thing, though, is that the way they do it with the accounting, I've heard, like on the balance sheet of the government, it's only valued at like $42 an ounce or something. Like they could revalue it and end up like putting like an extra $1 trillion like on their balance sheet if they just repriced it in their accounting system. And I don't really understand that, but they keep talking about, well, maybe they'll do that.
Yeah, they're like, well, we'll have a windfall, and the Treasury's coffers will swell. But it's like, unless you sell that gold, you're not going to get any additional cash. You're just changing the valuation.
A gold-backed Treasury, right? As a new like lending instrument. So in a way, yes. Like,
is this what Q's telling you, Babs? Is this
Well, the big disappointment.
I wouldn't go anywhere near it. It's all a whole bunch, like screw them. Get yourself some gold, get yourself some Bitcoin, keep it in your vault, keep it in your hardware wallet, bury it under a tree. Just stack it. I mean, what else can you do? Like, they can't create gold out of nothing. Even they can manipulate it to a certain degree, which we've seen. But in the end, they can only mine it so fast. So,
yeah. Well, think about your house, right? When your house goes from, we'll say 300,000 to 400,000, you have a gain, like your balance sheet goes up, your asset went up in value on the market rate, but you're still sitting on it. You're still in your house and you don't have any extra cash. The way you get cash is either by borrowing against that higher value or selling the house, and then you get the cash. Yep. So that's what an unrealized gain is. And they could take that gold and revalue it from 42 to 4,000, and the government would then have a nice, financial gain on their.
They could also do 10,000.
They could, whatever they wanted, right? But until they actually sell it or borrow against it, there's no additional cash coming into the treasury by doing that.
But I don't know. I think it does sort of put $1 trillion on their balance sheet, which can make its way into. I'm sure it's going to make its way into somebody's, rich guy's hands. But what would it do for the average person holding gold? I think would be more interesting. Like, what would that do to the price of gold itself? If anything, who knows? But it's always prudent to have a little bit of your portfolio in precious metals as an insurance policy, not as necessarily a speculative instrument, right? Because, if it does its job, it's going to be steady.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you're not going to be early on gold, right? You can't be early on gold anymore.
I should have got in 3,000 years ago when they, when did they first start using gold? Like,
whereas with Bitcoin, you can still be early, right?
Yeah.
Like, adoption rate is only like
you're still in the
4%.
The first millennia of Bitcoin.
Right.
Well,
so
some of these gold bugs have been around since the 70s, right? Like Ron Paul, for example, probably has thousands of ounces, I would guess. I mean, he was buying at $35 an ounce. He's probably been buying gold his whole life. And now it's at 4,000 an ounce. So he's probably got a ton of gains. Not that he's an old man now. He can't do much with the money other than pass it on to his children. But, I bet you some of these old Liberty guys have pretty nice stashes of gold.
I remember
how would that compare to a S&P over the same time period?
That's a good question. I'd have to look at it. I don't know. I'd probably comparable.
S&P is like an average of like 10% each year, right? Between like 8 and like something where between 8 and 11% a year on average.
It's going to really depend on where you start and stop counting, right? Because there's been some bear markets and
markets. But I'm just saying, like, if you're talking 50 years, it doesn't really matter when you started or stopped, unless you happen to buy like right at the peak of some crash.
Like if you put $1,000 in stocks in 1950 and $1,000 in gold in 1950,
right?
I'm guessing you're better off with the stocks.
Depends. What
I'd be curious. Yeah, I would be curious about that.
Depends what stocks. If you hit a good one.
Well, he's saying the S&P. He's saying the S&P.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, obviously, if you invested in Apple, yeah. Of course, Apple wasn't around 50 years ago, but yeah.
Right. I mean, if you would invest, like looking back, okay,
almost
so instead of back when in 2001, so when I first turned 21, and instead of maybe like going out to the bars like every other weekend, or maybe like, all right, instead of like take what you spend going out to the bars for 1 month, gold was around $271 to $279 an ounce in 2001. So you figure like, I don't know, math, like 20.
I wasn't going to the bars in 2001 though, personally.
Well, I'm just saying, like
I was going to high school.
Wow. Okay, so I was 21 at the time, but I'm just like, fuck. Like thinking back, it's like, oh man, like maybe just a sober September and buy a couple.
Dude, ounces. I'm so old. I remember when an ounce of gold was about the same price as an ounce of weed.
Wow. How much weed did you buy with gold?
None, but at one time I thought, what a really good savings idea would be, like every time you buy an ounce of weed, also buy an ounce of gold, right? Like if you could keep those in parity, right? Like you might be a fuck up of a stoner, but look, you've got a gold hoard when you're done.
We weren't allowed to own gold, right? Weren't Americans banned from owning gold for a lot of decades?
FDR, yeah, there was confiscation, right?
I don't know who we really.
Wasn't that the 70s, or was that when we went off that was when we went off the standard? Was in the 70s.
Yeah, but it was FDR during the Great Depression. I think was
they confiscated all the gold, right, and they put it all in Fort Knox. And then Americans were banned from owning it until somebody, and we should really credit whoever deserves the credit for pushing that legislation so that we were allowed to buy gold again. And that was pretty late. It might have been like 1980 or something like that. I forget.
Let me look it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of like Bitcoin, it was funny. I was listening to No Agenda. It stood out. It was like I don't know. I guess whenever Bitcoin was just booming, so a couple, I don't know, fairly recently.
Yeah.
But Adam Curry on No Agenda was like, yeah, I remember like early on in Bitcoin, I remember like buying weed with it. And he's like, imagine if I just had, he's like, it wasn't even good weed. Imagine if I just had that Bitcoin today, like how stupid,
Yeah. I mean, I remember going to Pork Fest. Yeah, I think it was around this time going to Pork Fest. So I guess this was like 2016. And like,
oh wow.
I remember Tim had his like grass-fed beef.
Yeah, the burger stand. Yeah.
Yeah, the grass-fed beef burger stand, grass-fed revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And he was accepting Bitcoin. And he ended up like when he was done, he just like sold it all to somebody. And I think the price was maybe like $600 or $800 or something like that. And if he had just like held on to that instead of just like getting the cash for it.
But so many people probably have stories like that where they're like, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. I knew I should have bought it. I mean, I remember.
Well, that's the thing. Like you said, like it's really like I've been holding pretty much since like 2014.
Wow.
Which just takes a lot of gumption to just not sell. It's just you have to be like kind of retarded. like you got to be like a true believer. You got to be a true believer.
I just did the spend and replace. That like I adopted that from almost as soon as I was able to spend it. Kind of grasp the concept of as soon as I spend it, go out and buy more, and then usually a little bit extra anyway, right? So I've never had any like, oh, I can't believe I spent Bitcoin on that pizza, right?
Yeah.
Like,
because I'm talking like even just selling it for cash. Like when all of a sudden you have, when you're like a young kid, and then all of a sudden, Bitcoin goes from like 1,000 to 20,000. It's hard to like not just sell that shit and just like be like, all right, man, I fucking
titty bars.
It was easier for me just in my stage of life. I've had income, right? So I didn't didn't really have to. I wasn't as tempted or to sell it, but it was always there as like a resource in case things go wrong or in an emergency.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a little bit easier to just hang on for dear life and just, watching that like the ups and downs.
Some of those crashes just hurt your stomach.
Oh
dude.
my God.
Like, I mean even this one we're going through right now, I'm like, damn, dude.
Dude, that's nothing.
It is nothing.
Well, none of you guys remember the .com bust, do you? You guys are all too young for that.
I remember.
I mean, I was
you weren't investing in the market. I
was not
junior high. Yeah,
I was in high school.
I was naive because it was like in a time period of like great prosperity, and I just started to make money and investing in the stock market through the end of the 90s. And then comes the bust, and I'm like, I wasn't really prepared. I was such a newbie, right?
Yeah.
Like, like I was really like, oh shit, and I panicked and I sold a lot of stocks I should have kept, but but then by the time that the Bitcoin bubble came around, that was it like 2017, where like it was a big crash. It was really big. We were like at 20,000, and then we were like, I don't know, 5,000 or something.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I think it went down to like 3 at one point.
Yeah, it was like, oh, like, we didn't have that many cycles either to know like it's definitely going to come back or just hold on. Like, but I just was like, you know what? I lived through the .com bubble burst. I'm just going to hang on for this one, and now like each bubble seems to be a little bit less severe.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we got here? We got some charts and graphs here.
Well, this was the previous conversation, but yeah, this is gold price versus stock market.
Which one is which though? I couldn't.
This is gold is if you highlight it, the gold is this bottom one here.
Yeah.
So yeah, clearly like investing in the Dow Jones is
that's what I thought.
Way more profitable.
Yeah. Wow. So far, right? I mean, Japan had like it took them 35 years to come back after their market crashed. I want to say it crashed in 1990, and it didn't get back to that number until like 2020. Or
Oh, there
something
could
like
be
that.
long
All right,
bear
well-
markets.
If you look at, well, yeah, I guess long term, but I'm just looking at that massive dip. I'm assuming that's the housing bubble there.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was the housing.
You know what? It
whole
looks like
crash.
something happened in 1971.
Yeah, what happened then?
What
What happened
happened?
there? What could yeah, oh, what I was going to talk Kyle, you brought it up earlier.
funny.
So before 1974, private ownership of gold was prohibited by a 1933 executive order and further solidified by the Gold Reserve Act of 1934. The restriction was lifted through public law 93-3 337, signed by President Gerald Ford in August 1974 and enacted on December 31st, 1974.
But are you giving Ford the credit for us being able to buy gold?
I guess so.
So it basically took like 5 years.
I can almost
do that,
guarantee you
yeah.
there was some libertarians pushing that legislation.
You know what? Cheers to those pirates that kept their gold and didn't give a shit whether it was legal or not.
On New Year's Eve, 1974, you could own gold again. Here, I got the Forbes article.
You could always own gold. You just had
Yeah.
to do it illegally. And,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just had to.
right?
Yeah, you had to be like or you could still do it. You just have to be like a coin collector. You'd have to, because I remember.
Get a license.
Yeah, let's see here.
I generally don't buy U.S. coins because of that Gold Confiscation Act and the way that they sort of always treat the currency that they issued as sort of still theirs. Like if they
Kinda
minted
like
it,
you.
if they minted it, they can kind of be like, hey, we issued this, now you have to turn it back in.
Right. Like
They
you were
kinda
born here. We own you.
Yeah, I mean, not that foreign gold, no gold is really safe from confiscation, but I do feel a little bit better with foreign coins than U.S. coins.
So
Personally.
you're thinking the feds they kick in your door, they demand to know where your safe is, they crack it open, they're like, oh, it's okay, Cougarans, sorry to bother you.
No, yeah, you're right.
Like, what are we talking about?
It makes no difference. You're right, but I don't know. Just maybe it's a psychological thing. I'm like,
Definitely.
they can't say this was the one that we minted.
We got the golden eagles.
You could always just melt it
That's what
down
we train for,
anyways.
man. Grab all the golden eagles.
I
You could always
know.
just melt it down.
Remember when how much gold did they get out of Iraq? Remember all that gold? Like there were all those stories about like just pallets and pallets of gold.
I heard a story like there was an asteroid that supposedly had like trillions of tons or something like that. And they said, oh, that's going to crash the gold market if we can ever get a hold of that.
Good luck.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
asteroid, yeah. Or they're gonna mine the moon or something.
Yeah, something like
some-
that.
What was that shitty movie with like
You
Bruce
probably have-
Willis and shit?
Oh,
Like,
Armageddon.
yeah.
I think they
Oh,
could
no.
probably be more cost effective to mine the oceans for like the dissolved gold in the sea itself.
Like
They do that, right?
desalinate, like goldify the
With enough energy and resources, yeah, you can extract gold from seawater, I believe.
Yeah, but
There's
does it
a,
cost
At
more to
what
do that?
cost?
Yeah.
I don't know about the water, but like there's a show, Bering Sea Gold, right? Where I guess they're drilling or something, or
Yeah. They're always
Mining
drilling
the
in
bottom
Alaska.
of it?
Yeah.
Or like
Wow.
mining operations.
It's
I'm
like
gonna have to watch some of
it's
that.
almost like Bitcoin mining, but it's like under the bottom of the sea. Like cool.
people have
It's
made
almost like
fortunes
Bitcoin
with
mining of a volcano, but like
Did we
That's
talk
pretty
about-
rad. I mean, like the fact that they're using steam from volcanoes from the San Andreas Fault to power, like to use the steam to power like Bitcoin mining in what country is it? It's Bukele's country.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, El Salvador, and
El
then using
Salvador.
that wealth to build gigantic prisons to hell.
Yeah.
Like what? Wait a minute.
you almost had it. You almost figured
Yeah.
it out.
Did you guys put Venezuela on the list to talk about?
Not really, but I mean, things are
What
getting
happened?
spicy. Didn't like Trump just announce like there's going to be CIA operations or
Might have already been.
probably?
Oh, didn't he already?
I mean,
didn't he
when
bomb,
they announce it, it's
I don't
already.
know if
been
this is
happening, most
Venezuela,
likely.
but did he bombed another boat, right?
I don't know.
He took damn, I didn't post the article.
And
But yeah, he
there's
took out
like a
another
couple-
boat with like 6 people on it, alleged
There's a
drug
couple,
peddlers.
military like tracking pages I follow on Twitter, and that follow like the flight trackers and there was like some B-52s just this past week flying pretty much like probably right at the line of, I guess, their airspace, just kind of like a show of force. So yeah, who knows what's happening.
Is that antiwar.com? Is that one of them?
Yeah, let's go find. I'm sure they have something on it. Well, that was one. It wasn't them, but it was like another page I follow. They just, like they'll show flight trackers and kind of military movements.
Oh, here we go.
I bet you can
real
bet
time.
on it. It's probably like FanDuel or
President
something like
Trump
that.
authorized the CIA to conduct lethal covert action in Venezuela.
We announced we're going to do covert operations. So in other
The
words,
Trump administration has authorized the CIA to take covert action inside Venezuela, including lethal operations. The New York Times reported as the administration's push toward regime change heats up. President Trump later confirmed that he authorized the covert action and said the U.S. was considering attacks on Venezuelan territory. We are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control. Okay.
Wow.
Wait, didn't he already declare the president like wanted didn't he put out a bounty for him?
Something?
Yeah.
Wasn't what's her face? She went out.
Barbie.
Yeah, no, was it? No, that's Border Barbie.
Oh,
Border Barbie. Maybe did she? It might.
Wait, who's the one? Pam Blondie.
Bondi. I thought that's who you guys were talking about.
Whoever
She's
it was.
Department of Justice. Yeah, I think they did, but it was just kind of like if you turn him over, there's an award, reward, like kind of. Like, okay, Sheriff, I'll get right on it.
I posted a link to a campaign video of Trump talking about Venezuela and what his plans were for it. So anybody that's surprised about this, I think needs to visit this clip and be like, "Yep, he's doing this is like a promise kept to conquer Venezuela."
This is C-SPAN clip you posted.
Let's watch that.
Venezuela. We're buying oil from Venezuela. When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door. But now we're buying oil from Venezuela, so we're making a dictator very rich. Can you believe this? Nobody can believe it. You know where their oil is garbage. It's horrible. The worst you can get, tar. It's like tar. And to refine it, you need special plants. And
Amazing.
I mean, is that kind of is that foreshadowing or not?
He's like, fuck buying oil. We're going to steal that.
We're just going to take it. All that delicious oil.
Yeah, I think that could be part of his motivation. They're saying it's for drugs, right?
You mean
Venezuela
oil is a motivation? Where have I heard that one before?
Wow,
Change
it out.
No, what?
Where have I seen this playbook before?
Yeah, well, they say it's over drugs, right? Isn't that the stated reason? Because
Wrong.
he says Venezuela is funneling drugs into the U.S.
But it turns out most cocaine, I think, comes through Colombia, not Venezuela. So even that falls flat from what I understand.
And before that, it's from the
drug
in
trafficking.
between. Yeah, and in between there, it comes through the CIA.
At one point, they were really struggling. They were people were eating out of dumpsters, and I heard
they were eating their zoo animals.
They were eating the
they had no
dogs.
food. They're eating the dogs. So yeah.
Well, and you could blame it on socialism and whatnot, which has been devastating for them, squandering all their great resources as a country, and but at the same time, brutal sanctions and trade embargoes, and
the U.S. can never. The U.S. can never just let countries fail on their own. They've always got to intervene and make them fail faster, and then they can just blame it on U.S. Then they can just blame it on U.S. imperialism instead of just admitting that socialism doesn't work.
See, I guess the question is, you can either have socialism working where the country happens to have massive oil wealth, right? And they can run the whole government off of oil wealth.
Yep.
Right. And that, suddenly this is working now. Right.
Yeah.
But, so do you want do you want the king to own the oil, or do you want Exxon to own the oil?
No, we can't have that. enter
So-
like Iran, 1953, Mohammed Mossadegh. You know
Exactly.
So
Or I don't know if that was. I don't think was it Exxon or no, that was BP or whatnot.
BP, yeah, where like
So-
the Britain was like, oh, the United Kingdom was like, you need to intervene because he wants to nationalize the oil in Iran, and we can't have that. So
And notice nobody's like, hey, why don't we just let the property owners enjoy the benefits of the oil that might be under their house? You know,
Yeah.
right? Like it has to be.
No!
You have to choose between BP and the dupe and the Sultan.
that doesn't
like-
benefit central bankers, Babs.
Get out of here with that crazy libertarian talk.
Stop with that.
You're like, what about like Beverly Hillbillies? You know, you go out in your backyard and there's
No.
like, boom, there's oil. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those oil wells were promised to the central bankers and those that run it 3,000 years ago. So they need to reap the rewards.
How
Yeah,
about
It's the same
Milei?
playbook. It's like every history just repeats itself over and over again. It's just
Did you guys put Milei on the list for Argentina?
yeah. What's
bailout?
going on? What's going on, Kyle? Are we bailing them out like four?
I
I
heard
heard
20
20 billion, and then I heard 40 billion that were bailing out.
doubled. Yeah, heard doubled
I mean-
to 40, but I don't know if that was true or not. I saw a meme that was like, it said we're doubling it to 40, twice as much as we've given Ukraine. And then I was like, that doesn't sound right. So I looked it up, and it was false. You know, we've given Ukraine like 130 billion or something like that. So
at least.
yeah, it wasn't double, but you know.
Well, has anybody checked with Jack Lloyd? Because I know Jack has been a big fan of Milei, and he's like the libertarian hero. Evidently, he's more libertarian now than Ron Paul, right? Who's just a libertarian regurgitator, right? So, what does this make? What's Milei now, right? Like he's a welfare whore.
I thought he was good. I always saw positive stories about him from libertarian sites, and then I saw like some people think he's a fake libertarian or a bad libertarian, and that would be Hoppe, I think, turned on him or doesn't like him, and I can't remember who else was very critical. Daniel McAdams, I think, Ron Paul's wingman.
Well, I
He's
think
a
it's
politician. Like a libertarian should have an immediate defense response. You know, like a
White blood
like an
cell.
immune response that just goes off and immediately sees what they say is bullshit and some kind of an op. No matter what it sounds like, right? That shouldn't be a problem for libertarians to figure out.
Yeah, and of course I would disagree. Like we need good leaders, good politicians. So, you know, more people. I like Thomas Massey a lot. More people like that. You know.
You need a leader.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Lots of leaders. We need like at all levels of government. We need libertarian.
You just get the
people.
right people in there. I'm sure it would all be great.
It would help quite a bit.
And now the minarchist first anarchist.
I know segment of
Stage
the
of
show.
the show.
Yeah. No, so with the Milei thing, right? A lot of socialists are like, well, he ran the economy into the ground, and that's why they need a bailout, right? And it's like, but then the counter argument is supposedly his opposition party won some major elections, and that was like the creditors got scared that this is going to return Argentina to the way that it was, and that's why their interest rates spiked, and they all of a sudden couldn't make their payments. So is it really Milei's fault, or is it because the opposition won? I don't know. I mean, either way, I don't think U.S. taxpayers should be bailing them out.
I think there may be a common denominator here, and I'm posting a photo that may tell some of the story about Milei.
Are you noticing?
I don't know. You tell me if you feel this is relevant to the situation.
You might be onto something here, Babs. Pulling it up, Jared. You got the
Yeah, I'm
docs
trying.
down there.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, when was this? Was this because I remember like when he was I think when he was running for president, and I remember he went over there and he kissed the wall and he converted, and I remember he was had a lot of backing. So, oh man, you never. It's they're all Todd.
Oh no. You
Yeah.
notice too much.
Noticed too much. Yeah. All right. I'm glad it was Alex and not my internet. I wasn't sure, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
mine's a little
know.
Weird too.
I don't know if that has anything to do with anything.
These
Maybe.
guys are all politicians. No, you want to rise in the ranks in global politics, yet that you do kiss the wall. That's just the way it goes, right?
What is the wall? Jared, can you explain this wall to me?
Why do I have to explain it? No, it's the Wailing Wall. It's one of the remaining walls of the temple, like the temple from like 70 AD or whatever in Jerusalem. And
Okay.
it's like a pilgrimage site, it's like a holy site. And so like all the apparently all the politicians have to go there and touch it or kiss it or whatever to
When did it become?
get in.
When did it become just the symbol for obedience in politics? Like everybody just goes
I don't know
there.
when
and
the
they kiss
ADL
it.
came around, or I don't know.
Who was the first one to do that?
I mean,
I don't
every
know.
president, the only president, modern day president that didn't supposedly, I don't know, that has not kissed that wall was Kennedy, and we all know what happened to him. But anyway, sorry guys, I'm back. Mossad didn't hit me with the space laser. I just forgot to plug in my computer to the charger. I was like, oh no, noticing.
Right
Here's
as
the
you were,
coordinates.
right as you were
Here's the
saying
coordinates to the space laser.
Someone did notice their battery level. That's what happened.
So I didn't notice.
You're not noticing enough things there.
I didn't notice that my charger was not plugged in.
Well, if anybody sees Jack, ask him to comment on what's up with Milei being a welfare whore.
Right. That's why, like, I think when all this started coming out, I'm like, like I want to like him. He's so based, but it's like, he's owned. It's just all fake and gay, like
But
every.
then I mean, we discussed him through his rise of his career, and I think at some point we'd have said, you know what, he's just autistic enough that he could be authentic, right?
Mhm.
Like he really like passed the test of like those big bushy like mutton chops, right? The social awkwardness. Like he
Wait,
seemed
what?
like
He
one
has
of us.
mutton chops.
Yeah, he's got like he does this whole Elvis. He does. I just saw like he did karaoke. He's like a big Elvis.
Wait, we're talking about Jack Lloyd.
Oh no, not Jack Lloyd.
No,
Sorry,
Milei.
Milei. Yes.
Oh, I was like,
That would be fun if Jack had mutton chops. Jack, that's a great idea.
isn't he
You
like a
should do-
clean-shaven, like boyish looking dude?
I know he should do like in solidarity with Milei, his own mutton chops.
Yeah.
I don't see how you go into a country like that where it is so far, I'll say far left, or just the government has grown so large and so many people are on the dole, and you get elected like doing chainsaws, being like, I'm going to slash the spending, I'm going to slash it. Like, and how you go into that institution that just revolves around so much spending and being such an engine of corruption and clean it all up. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me that you could
Well,
come
that's
in
why
as
revolutions
Wait a
don't
minute,
work
Kyle.
because
Wait, Kyle, you're the minarchist, okay? You're supposed to be defending this and explaining how that can work.
it can work, but organically, like kind of from the ground up with many levels. Like if Congress was, 40% or something, but it's just not one guy coming in to clean up the
work. Tell me how.
Like
it
one
works.
guy can't clean it up alone, right? Government.
yeah,
is
and that's the
ultimately
whole
an
thing with like
operation.
that's the whole thing why revolutions, like these like like Che Guevara and like all these kinds of revolutions don't work is because, well, number one, communism doesn't work, but aside from that, it's like you're coming in, you're most people don't even understand what these things are. Like they don't know what communism is, they don't know what capitalism, they don't know what any of this stuff is, and then you're trying to convince them to adopt this whole new way of life. At first they're going to support you because they hate the way things, they hate the current thing, they hate the way things are, the status quo. But like unless you've changed hearts and minds and educated people and gotten them to at least respect your basic tenets, like it's not going to hold, and it's just going to result in you becoming a dictator because you got to now
Well, and eventually people figure out they can vote themselves other people's money. I mean, it all comes down to that eventually. No matter who's in charge or what what you're doing, eventually people are like, I want his stuff, let's get it.
Yeah, it's a culture. How do you change? How does one man change a culture of government entitlements?
Well,
So
presumably,
know.
you don't get to be the one man without having a base of support. But this is why I've always suggested that the Libertarian Party not worry about how many votes they're getting, but worry about teaching principled libertarianism. The real thing. Don't worry about the votes. Just
James, they don't
go
even
out
know
and
the
make more
principles.
libertarians.
They don't even know the principles. A lot of them. I mean, in my experience with the LP, there was so much infighting and so much disagreement. Like there was no.
Well, that was what the Mises Caucus set out to do originally, but they got kind of sidetracked with like my borders and my immigrants and all that shit, and it kind of like failed.
They got co-opted by Angela and
yeah. But originally the idea was like we're gonna bring libertarian principles back into the LP. We're not going to care about voting. We're not going to care about being pragmatic. We're just going to care about being a platform.
Well, the other aspect too.
At some point that failed.
The other aspect too, and I mean, I was going to save it for local or for after hours, but the other aspect,
local hours,
the overflow room, if you will. So yeah, for what? How much is it? $3, Jared?
$3 buckarooskies.
Yep.
3 shekels.
3 devalued dollars get you in the after hours, which we're going to record right after this.
That's less than 1/1000th of an ounce of gold. Wow, that's like
I need to set up some sort of like gold vault.
That would look like a speck of dust on your shirt if it was gold.
Like a dandruff flake of gold on your shoulder.
Is there Can I set up like a gold vault somewhere where people can just mail their gold?
Is Jared breaking up for you guys?
Custodians for me. What's that?
Is Jared breaking up for you guys? His video and audio is like cutting out for me.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm getting a little bit of that little Wi-Fi thing.
Just want to make sure it's not just me.
Yeah, it's just a little choppy, Jared.
Jared, you're all blurry and still frame and choppy.
There he is, Grumpy Gnome. Welcome, man. Glad you're popping in. Good to see you.
Hey, y'all. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, Grumpy Gnome's a based Twitter account. But yeah, man, I was that's the only reason I got back into the LP. I mean, Kyle, you were the county chair, and I think like if it weren't for our friend of the show and a good friend who, he was at my wedding, Doug Stanley, running locally on local issues, I was like, all right, cool. Like someone actually like, I'm from the community. This is where I grew up. Like I care about said issues. And that was kind of like, I was like, all right, cool. Like good stuff. And then the Mises Caucus just kind of reinvigorated that, like just kind of like, guys, like stop with this fucking Congress shit. Stop with running for Senate. Stop with this bout. Like just we need to run just how about you go to a local and just focus on local stuff, or focus on things you can actually do, or actually build a grassroots network, or actually do tangible liberty things.
Fuck that.
Well, I mean, no, not even that, but then also dabbling in like agorism and like kind of like being based, not like, and what irks me so often is being involved in the party at various levels or in and out. And, I'm kind of like, I don't know, not really checked out completely, because I still think like educationally, like, yeah, like if you're going to have a fucking party, be based, say base shit, respond to the current things through the libertarian lens, and do those things. But I was going to save it for the after hours, but we had a U.S. Senate candidate in Maryland. I was like, all right, cool. Former major in the Air Force. But I'm like, dude, why are you running for U.S. Senate? But okay, cool. Get your name out there. Maybe gets us,
is he trying to atone for his sins in the Air Force, or?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was in the Air Force too.
Like, thank me for my service, people.
No, he wasn't. I mean, he seemed good on a lot of things, but then the problem is, what the problem with the libertarian, like the philosophy is not flawed at all. The message, but then once you get involved in the party, and if you're listening to the wrong people, holy shit, it's just like, why are you, and then the worst part is there's these perpetually online goofies, and you never see them anywhere. What's that?
Name names.
Oh, well, here's this tweet. It's just, I mean, so I was debating on responding, but like, you know, so this guy who ran for U.S. Senate as a libertarian came to the party. Never heard of him before, but he came, said the right things. We're all like, oh, okay. But now he never shows up for board meetings, never does shit, doesn't help out with, doesn't do a damn thing, doesn't even like help out, doesn't even run meetings anymore.
Well, did he need party resources to get him on the ballot?
Yeah, like we, you know, so we did all these things, but you know, so I'm like, dude, you can't even show up to fucking board meetings. You can't even help collect signatures. You can't even help to hold a stupid fucking meeting.
Well,
You can't even like.
Those
What's
things
that?
are dumb. What? Those things are fake and gay.
They're not dumb, because it's good to like know, like, all right, these are the people in my community that are like-minded. These are the people that like are going to create, you know, like,
Well,
it's
you gotta
good to have.
You got to think about that when you're nominating your candidates, not expecting them to do shit like later, right?
Right.
Like, nominate
that's
one
kind
who's
of
in your community.
that's
You
that's
know?
kind of the thing that irritates me. It's like such an ego trip. Like, you get so many of these like ego goofies that are so egotistical.
But
And
it's an empty net usually. Somebody shows
yeah,
up and they're willing
mhm.
to. Oh, in fact, it's usually the outsider that's willing to spend 10 grand. They're willing to, you know, they've got experience in the real world politics. They think they can win. They're, you know, like, and then
Yeah.
like, and everyone's like, oh, you know, like, but like, does he know anything about libertarianism? Who cares? Like,
So the tweet that irked me is like, so I don't know. First off, the goofy has an avatar picture, and if you go to this profile, it's just some gay raced communist who's like all these empty collectivists like trans rights. And I mean, I think there was a Ukraine flag and a Palestinian flag, like just a fucking run-of-the-mill stupid collectivist communist leftist, right? But they might be libertarian because they're like, oh, my trans rights. What the fuck are trans rights? So this person said fake libertarians who are actually just neocons have single-handedly ruined most people's perception of libertarianism. Now, go to this person's profile. They're 18 years old, just a fucking like probably basement dweller.
who's he referring to?
I just like mecox, like people that are like, I don't know, actually trying to do things, actually trying to move the Overton window.
Libertarians.
So let's scroll down, Jared, to the actual tweet here. So it's just like, it's so yeah, it's just like this constant leftist caricature of individuals. Like, yeah, I'm a libertarian, except for gay marriage, which I'm sorry, like, I don't think marriage, like, the state should be involved. So shut the fuck up, newbie libertarian. Like, the state shouldn't be involved in this. So gay marriage is not a fucking thing. So how about that? Not so then, oh, trans rights. What the fuck are trans rights? What the fuck are that's like,
we're individualists. So that's,
yeah, exactly. So we're not collectivists. So the whole, I don't like, no, I think they have fucking mental illness. I think they're insane. I don't think my tax dollars should support medical malpractice.
Wait, is that a Senate candidate that posted that meme?
No, but you'll see in the comments.
It's a bot,
in the section.
probably.
Yep, it's a total bot. So we have a former guy, like U.S. Retired U.S. Air Force major, real estate agent, gets involved in a party, and he's like talking shit about people in the party who doesn't do shit.
Wait, how does this link to this guy that you're talking about?
You'll see. So then this person's like abortions, pornography. Okay, I think abortion, it shouldn't be funded by my tax dollars at the very least. And also, as an individual, it's fucking murder. It's murder, bottom line. And you can actually argue it from a NAP perspective that abortion is a violation of the NAP if you want to go down the stupid NAP role. But it's just
certainly
irresponsible.
An acceptable argument, whether you
Yes.
agree with it or not.
But it's also just degeneracy. It's also just like, oh, like irresponsible from a libertarian perspective. It's like you're irresponsible if you think this is like. So I digress. But then going on, or freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, like, wait, what? Like, and then I'm just talking about tax evasion. It's like your typical caricature of like.
Well, see, what this should say is, what this is really pointing to me, I think, is like a MAGA person, not a libertarian. Right?
Okay, that's fine. But like, it's totally directed. Like, if you look in the comment section, so if you scroll down, I think it's the first comment, Jared. This is this goofball.
Would this meme make more sense if it said, yeah, I guess
so.
MAGA freedom. I'm for freedom, except for, right? Like,
yeah, but this is the type of stuff like they're just gay-raced communists, and I'm tired of them in the party. Like, just leave.
Well, we had this
because they
in
just lead.
Pennsylvania.
They lead with the degeneracy. They lead with like the trans shit, the gay shit,
Well,
the
the thing is,
abortion
the problem
shit.
is, you guys
But I'm
are
still
you know,
unclear about how this links back to the guy you're talking about.
Oh, maybe this what oh, so don't click on this comment. Click on this actual individual because it's the first comment. So
well, how many
sorry,
other
Derek.
choices did the party have for Senate candidates?
Well, I don't think we should run Senate candidates.
Oh, you're
first
talking
of
about
all.
Mike Scott?
Oh, Mike Scott. So he's like, they're not libertarian. They took over the Libertarian Party.
Why
They're
are
a
you
bunch
worried
of-
about that, dude?
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. They're a bunch of Tea Party
Yeah.
Republicans who had money and realized how easy it was to take us over. And then like so it's like, sir, you're arguing with a bot. Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, show up to a fucking board meeting on Zoom. You can't even do the bare minimum. You can't collect signatures. You can't even hold a meeting. You can't even do you can't even come and like
Don't
advocate for
criticize
anything.
him. Criticize the people that nominated him to be your candidate.
Well, this is the problem, and this is what I can't stand about like this party apparatus. It's like, oh, we got to run candidates because we got to do this ballot access shit. Like, it's just like this.
Well, you should only run a
It's just
candidate if
goofy.
you have a good candidate in any
Right.
race. We had this.
Honestly, it's come down to that. It's come to the point where it's like, I'd rather nobody run for.
Well,
I'd rather have no candidates and just be a base Twitter
Of course.
account.
Why would you run a communist? Why would you run a communist under the LP banner? That's negative. That's like a negative.
Exactly.
That's like worse than running nobody.
Mhm.
Like, because the whole point is like you're not going to win.
Vote for Baz for get off my
And
lawn
like even
party.
even if you did win, now you've got this communist that's in control. Or
Exactly.
like there's literally no
Anybody.
point.
the problem
Right.
is the Libertarian Party will easily accept anybody.
And
Bob
that's-
Barr,
Yeah.
anybody who'll do anything usually gets the job. We had this Senate candidate in Pennsylvania, I don't know, 15 years ago. This guy comes to the nominating convention, and he gave a little speech or something. He's like, "Oh, vote for me." He was a coal miner. He come from coal mining, Pennsylvania. Like it seemed like an earnest guy. He was willing to put a lot of money into his campaign, and he had all these coal mining friends that were going to help him. And the question was, are there any planks of the Libertarian platform that you would have a problem campaigning with? And he says, well, I just joined the party yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to read the platform.
Yeah.
And that
That's
was
the
the answer
problem.
he gave, and then he got nominated. Okay.
Wow.
So, like, whose fault is that you get some kind of like someone who does a terrible job of representing the party? One time they nominated for some office. I think it was a statewide candidate. This woman that had previously been a Green Party candidate, right? And she was just like, I don't criticize a woman's weight, but she was physically offensive to look at. Okay.
She was a big woman.
Let's just say, like if you're into like Jabba the Hutt kind of anyway. So
Biggest load that we've seen.
but that's not my critique of her. Okay.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say anything like that.
Yeah.
But she came from the Green Party,
Mm.
right? And
Oh,
like 1 year she's talking about social, like universal health care and all the Green Party things. And now she's in the Libertarian Party.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, it's
and then literally
Because it's the
at
JV
convention-
squad of politics. It's like you
Yeah,
couldn't make
exactly.
the varsity team, so now you got to go play JV, and now you got to feel like you're like the best JV
You
player
feel
there is.
important. Yeah, and you want it's
she
ego
worked her
driven.
way in.
So sad.
She worked her way in. It was a candidate for something for statewide office. Then she ended up like on the board of directors. Next thing you know, she's like working at the convention to change the statement of principles of the party. like in 1 year, right?
No,
Like,
yeah.
like,
It's
like, come on, people.
right. That's the but I mean, I don't want to digress on this and talk about it anymore because it's just kind of just
Anyway, it's just kind of a waste
it's
of
like
time.
it
But
is.
if you know what, if you want to use the LP, you can make it a hoot. Go for an office. You want to make it a small office, fine. You want to make it president, go for it. Senate, have a blast. Judge, knock yourself out. Sheriff, right? You can have fun with any different level, state rep, anything, right? And just be bold with it. Be bold, be principled, get out there, mix it up, tweet the,
Mean tweets.
tweet like crazy, have a good meme game. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you don't
I
have to
had
spend any money. Last time I ran for office, I didn't even do any of the campaign finance paperwork. I just said, fuck it, I'm not doing any of it.
I had a
Yeah.
positive experience for the most part in the LP as far as just having freedom to sort of do what I want. I wanted more organization. I wanted county organization across the state. I wanted each county to have their own group. And then, ideally to have each county split because I wanted people to be able to meet in person. And so I pushed for like Facebook groups to kind of keep us organized and get people together. And I mean, they pretty much were like, I was able to be the chair of the county for a little while. And it's just ultimately, I don't know, I didn't have time for it. And I wanted to hand it off to somebody that had more time to deal with it and more time to do it. I could have taken it as far as I wanted. I could have kept going and, probably built a nice group in Baltimore County. And I don't know. That was all pre-Mises caucus. I really didn't have as many problems back then as I felt like the Mises caucus had with left-leaning libertarians. Like the party is very fractured as far as just different ideas and different ideologies. And you saw that in the last convention. Like it was 7 or 8 rounds of voting and, there was a lot of animosity going, it was almost like a civil war. Like there's just so much animosity within the party.
The groomer versus cop versus
yeah. Like I don't know. Just nobody was really happy.
And now the groomer cop. Well, no, the cop who might have violated the 4th Amendment. There was a lot going around that he conducted an illegal search of a home without a warrant, but now he's in the Republican Freedom Caucus. Like Jared said, it's like the JV squad. It's like people come in, they have a cup of coffee, they waste people's time, and then they just dip or they just completely just check out and or do nothings and just talking with bots online and arguing and debating. And it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I also feel out of place in the Republican Party. I mean, I've been to events with them and seen Republicans, and I'm like, man, these people, these are not my people. That's how I often feel there. I'm like, geez, from the outside at times, you're like, man, it'd be nice to be part of a real organization. And then you get in there and it's like, oh my God, like you guys, dude,
we had a great libertarian organization, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, I could say like 2000s, early 2000, 2010. We had like a monthly, called it Liberty Forums, where we'd bring in like a speaker and we'd have like 10 or 30 people show up to see a speaker, like on a pretty close to monthly basis. And we have people met like Larkin Rose, or like we had a guy came in and talk about the Free State Project when it was brand new, NJ Weedman, people learning about the Federal Reserve, or like we had some really great content, and it would just draw people in. And then we also had like a monthly business meeting, and then we try to get candidates. But at the meeting, like anybody could bring like an operation, and like we come up with stuff like nullify the checkpoints. We're like, okay, we're going to go out to DUI checkpoints with like the dark sign.
Did we show that? Did we show that video a while back of your crew interrupting a DUI checkpoints? That was
the kind of shit. Like we would do these kind of ops.
Right.
It might be jury nullification. This or
I mean, that's a better use of time. You're right,
Babs. We had all these cool ops. Oh, we would be like, we got an eminent domain problem over here. Like we were engaged in all these different, it was like more than just like petitioning. And I go to these other clubs and like, well, what are you doing? Well, we collect signatures. Like
the GOP meetings, like the one I went to, they're like, all right, they start the meeting, everybody stands up and we recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Get the fuck
and you're like,
there.
And
Turn
you're like,
around and tell them to fuck off.
All right.
Wait a minute, Kyle. Kyle, you're a statist. Doesn't that like make your heart like swell with pride?
No, it does not. I'm
Why
not
not?
really into that stuff, man.
thought-
Man.
Even in
Yeah.
a minimal way.
Well, I'll tell you what I am into: the overflow room,
Yeah, let's take it.
and
over
we're
there.
about to head over there.
Punk rock libertarians pro.
I'm a human and I'm coming.
AJ's coming.
Come on in.
So are you coming? If you want to come, then you've got to go to our Patreon, patreon.com/punkrocklibertarians. And for as little as $3 a month, you can sign up and get access to our after hours. We also got t-shirts over at libertariancountry.com. There you can enter code PRL and save 10%, something like that. And yeah, we've also got other ways to help us out. If you go to PRLfans.com, we've got a Bitcoin address. I think we got PayPal over there. And yeah, all our links and all that. So until next time, live free
or die.